This is Paul at Downeast Under Creations. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hey folks, in this video I'm going to make a fountain for my wife. It's just a small fountain. She found this this planter pot, whatever you want to call it, fairly good size. Inside diameter is around 14 inches, and so what we did is we made a structure to support the tube for the water to come up, the pump on the bottom, and a little screen so we can hold some rocks. But watch the video, you'll see what I did. Please give me a like and a share and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and thank you for watching. Well, I'm now about to do a proof of concept test. Well, before I start putting the fountain all together, I want to make sure the pump is going to work well. And now let me show you what I have here. This is the pump that my wife purchased, and she got it from that online site that's named after a big river in South America, and it was cheaper than the stuff that Harbor Freight had offered, so substantially so. So we're going to try this, but it has a fairly high capacity. It might be too much, so I want to test it first, because if it is, we're just going to have to go to Harbor Freight. It's about 40 miles away, maybe later this afternoon. That's the nearest one. And we'll have to pick up a smaller pump if this doesn't work. So I'm going to just, well, get some hose. I've got a bucket here. I'm going to put some water in it. I'll stick the pump in. I'll stick the tube so it's sticking up. I'll plug it in and we'll see what happens, and see if it's okay or if it's too much. Well, let's see what happens. I'm going to point that over there. Well, it's coming out pretty good. I think that's a lot more than we need, though, for a little garden fountain in a bucket. Whoa! That's quite a flow rate. I don't know. What do you think? Well, that's a pretty high flow rate, and I think it's a lot more than what we need. I think a smaller pump is in order. But, well, I don't know. I mean, that comes out quite a bit. So, I got to think about this. I am going to Ellsworth a little bit later on this afternoon. It's Ellsworth, Maine. And that's where the nearest, the new Harbor Freight is. And I think their smallest pump is probably around $14 or $15. So maybe we get one with a lower flow rate. It might work a little bit better for this garden fountain. But I'm glad I tested this first. Now I have a good idea of what I'm looking at. Okay, I'm back. That other pump, that first one I tried, was much too powerful. But I went to Harbor Freight in Ellsworth, Maine, and I grabbed the smallest one that I could. It's the Harbor Freight Creekstone brand submersible fountain pump. Let me show it to you. This is it right here. 158 gallons per minute is the max flow rate at 0 feet, in other words right out of the pump, and up to the max head lift is about 3.5 feet. It says it has an inline flow control valve, an inlet screen for cleaning. This is the Harbor Freight product code 63315. It's about 15 bucks. And I think this just might be it. We're going to try it. And it runs off 120 volts. Well, once again, I'm gonna give it a trial run first. This pump I bought from Harbor Freight has much less capacity, less power than that first one I tried. So let's see if this one works a lot better. It should. I just hope it works well enough for what we need. And that's it. It is physically smaller, and it is supposed to have a smaller pump capacity. And I'm hoping I can, the tubing I have, I hope I can make fit on this. So if I can't make it fit, if I have to go get more adapters, that's just another delay. I did get a couple of adapters at Home Depot, but we'll have to see how this works. Okay, not much to it than this. They gave me a couple of little fittings. Let's see how that works. Well, I'm going to put her in the bucket and see how it works. That's more like it. Because at the top of the fountain that I'm making, the pot, we're going to have a bunch of little rocks at the top, and we just want this to bubble up and the water to run over the rocks, and that's it. We don't want that big geyser shooting up like with the other pump. So this is going to work just right. That's perfect. Just perfect. I don't think we can get it any better than that. Just right. It's doing exactly what we need it to do. We don't want it to pump any more than that. That's fine. I have a piece of hardware cloth here, 1/2 inch square, and I'm just going to cut a piece out that's going to sit on the top of this frame, and that'll keep any of the smaller rocks from falling down into the fountain. So I'm just going to get a mark of where I need to cut. I'm going to trace around the inside here. Just get some rough marks there to go by. Just using a Sharpie. I already cut off the excess piece here because that can be used, used for another project. Let me just cut this out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Again, this is just to keep any of the smaller rocks from falling in, and it doesn't have to fit perfectly because the rocks aren't going to be that small, you know. So, all right. Try to straighten that out a little. That will work quite well. All I have to do now, though, is I have to snip out a little bit in the center so that the fitting can fit in there and lock in the hose. And that should do the trick. Yep, that works. That works quite well, I think. All right, we're good to go. Now I'm at the point where I want to get the hose at just the right length. I'm going to take this out for now so it's not in the way. And I'll stick this on top of the pump. And then the hose comes through this little centerpiece here. And this fitting goes down through the top here. That's where it's supposed to go anyway. These bobs are just a little bit bigger than need to be for this hose anyway. Well, I decided rather than try to shave down that fitting I had, where the outside diameter is supposed to be for 1/2 inch tubing, it's a little bit too big. I found the fitting from the other pump that I had bought, the original pump, and this one actually fits perfectly, no problem, and it's black anyway, it blends in with the frame. So all I have to do is just get approximately where that needs to be trimmed. I'm going to call that good right there. And all I have to do is just push this down through the top. And the advantage to that is now this comes directly up and it's aiming straight up. There's nothing, it holds it in place. The tubing locks this piece in place. It's not going to go anywhere. The pump is sitting flat on the table. So all I have to do is just take this assembly and just lower it in the pot and then fill it with water, place this screen on top, and then put the rocks on. Plug her in, should be good to go. First things first though, we have to make sure the ground is level where the pot's going to go. make sure that's level before I put this piece in. Oh yeah, one other thing is that this cord has to come up through here, so I just have to make one more little cut, a clearance cut somewhere, and it doesn't matter where. I'll just make one here, and I think we're going to be good. And now the cord can fit through here. Not a problem. So when I place that in there, the cord has a clearance, put the rocks around it, we're good. Okay, next step. Yeah, I've got it pretty level in two different directions here. It looks pretty good, but the dirt underneath, I had to add some to try to level out the ground. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put water in it, and with all that extra weight I'm going to check it again and see if I have to make any adjustments. Well, the good news is that the pot did not move, the angle did not shift, so it's still level. And but I will have to check it again from time to time, because this ground may, after a rainstorm or something, it might shift a little, might have to readjust it. But for now, she's right on. Well, now it's a matter of inserting the assembly. Let's see how that works out. That all fits. Now I just have to get the rocks and put the rocks on, and then we'll plug her in and see how it works. Now I have an assortment of rocks that my wife picked out for this fountain, and I'm going to put them on there for now to test this out, but I can almost guarantee you that I'm not going to put them in the way she would like them. So she can come out later when she has a chance, and she can go ahead and she can rearrange them the way she wants. And then, that'll make her happy, I guess. And I don't know if there's even enough. They might have to get some more. But for now, just to see how our little fountain works, I'm going to put what she has on here, and we'll give her a test drive. What do you think? Okay, it is going to need more. You needed some smaller ones to put in and around these. Maybe, that should do it. But now I'm going to, I'll plug it in and see what we look like. Well, it's working, but I think this could use a little bit more power. It could come up a little higher, I think. I could put a tube, I could extend the tube up, and that would help flow down over the rocks, which is probably what we're going to do. But also, this Harbor Freight pump, I guess it has some settings that you can set it at. I think it's at the lowest one. So I think we can bump it up a little bit and get a little bit more pressure out of it, have it come a little bit taller. But as far as the concept goes, the build is complete, it does work. We just have to fine-tune the pump and add a few more rocks, maybe an extension tube here on the top, and I think we can call it good. But I think that's it for the video. I'll give you an idea of what I did here, and you might want to do something similar. Well, I have to tell you, it's been very difficult to do these projects this season because climate change, whatever you want to call it, This has been very unusual weather here in Downeast, Maine. I mean, we get our fair share of rain. We don't have to worry about drought or anything like that. But we've been getting an excessive amount of rain. It seems like almost every day. And some pretty heavy-duty showers, too. A lot of thunder and lightning storms. And, I mean, more than the norm, that's what I'm saying. And an incredible amount of water. But, oh, you've probably seen the news. You know, here in New England, a lot of places have been flooded. We don't have that problem so much because where we built our home, our property is situated such that we're on high ground. We have ravines all around the house. We have excellent drainage. Everything gets drawn away. So we personally are not really concerned so much. But the problem is trying to get the jobs done outside. Most of my projects are outside projects. So yeah, it's been slow. I haven't even touched my boat, the sailboat that I'm building on my other channel, Shoestring Shipyard Sailing. It's still under winter wraps. Here it is mid-August, and I haven't even touched it yet. I haven't had a chance. And you know, we had thunder and lightning storms last night and heavy rain. It let up this morning. We had a bit of sunlight, but now it's all overcast and it's going to start raining again. It's like, it feels like we're in the Pacific Northwest or in a rainforest or something. It's just, humidity's high and we're just getting constant rain and the ground is saturated and it just never dries out. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. And well, I don't know when the next project is going to be or when it's going to come out. Oop, just tripped on a rock. But here we are. And please stay tuned, and I hope you keep tuning into my channel, watching my videos, and it means a lot. You know, every time that you click on a like or you share it, subscribe, and also the minutes that you spend watching and commenting is also important. The more you do that, you know, that infamous YouTube algorithm, it helps, all of that stuff helps to get the videos out there, and it does support the channel, and it's all free. It doesn't cost you a dime. So get that finger moving, clicking away, do what you got to do. Thanks for helping me out. I appreciate it. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and if you do subscribe, remember to ring that little bell so that you can be notified of any new videos that are released. And thanks again for watching.